Going to be a best of 5 here. As I said, it's been a while since we've done this. So spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is the blue Zerg, recently picked up by a team. Now, it's not in this clan tag, but let me just pull it up here for a second. So Elazer was actually recently picked up by the team Clash. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that, but they're an Italian team, so it's really cool to see Elazer getting picked up by them. So, I've said his name about 3 times already, but you know him. He's spawning down the bottom right. He's won the past 3 Afreeca Worlds, and we're going to see if he can pick up another here. And now his opponent, Harstem. They actually played in Afreeca World number 3, I believe it was. Harstem had a very rough time versus Elazer, but things have changed. Elazer recently won a championship. Harstem was looking pretty good at Home Story Cup. So we're going to see how well he'll do here, going up versus Elazer. Probe Scout moving out, just Gateway expand here for Harstem, it looks like it'll be. Meanwhile, Elazer, I guess I can pull up this build order, has actually gone for just standard hatchery first here. Nothing too late here. Meanwhile, Harstem's going to scout all of that. So we're just sort of getting warmed up here. This is the first game of the day, first cast for a while, I'll be brutally honest. But Afreeca World is always good here. There's going to be plenty of games. We've got one best of 5, then another best of 5, and then a best of 7 after that. If you guys are here for Hero Marine or Petit Drogo, those guys will be playing after this best of 5 here. And now we see Harstem getting that second gas, just Cybernetics core on the way, so very standard opening for Harstem here. He does have the wall off on the low ground, but on this map, Ascension to Ire, one of the newer maps, I believe, it's actually very easy to wall off on the low ground here. So Elazer, though, just standard speed opening, nothing deviating too much here. I believe the last series we played, Harstem went for plenty of Archon drops and things like that, so we'll see if he changes it up. Otherwise, maybe he's changed up his play completely. We can't know until we see him, but for now he's just opening up with this Adept. We'll see if it'll move out across the map, and then following it up with another here, and then a Stargate. Okay, so Harstem's putting that in the back. Elazer's Overlords aren't quite in position to come in and see this. This Overlord is moving across the map. It may poke in, but it's going to be a bit late to see that. I mean, the Probe's moving out, the Adept's moving out. No major scouting for Elazer here. He sees the wall off at the front. Well, not finished wall off yet, but he sees it up at the front here. We now see this Adept for Harstem poking in. Gonna shade in. Not gonna see too much here. He's just gonna go up the ramp, maybe catch a glimpse of those lings there, but not gonna commit, as that would be the death of the Adept. So now it looks like Harstem's just gonna wall that off. Second Gateway on the way, Oracle now on the way. Now, we've sort of seen Oracles coming into the meta a bit more than they used to be, if I had to say, but honestly, I'm not too sure if that's going to come into play. Elazer has been going for Pneumatized Carapace a lot lately in his games. He's already getting up 1 Spore Crawler, so it could possibly just be an all-in for Elazer here. I wouldn't be too surprised. We now see that Pneumatized Carapace, words are hard, coming in, scouting that extra gateway, scouting that Stargate, so he knows completely what's up. There's nothing to worry about. Those Overlords should be able to get out of there, not having to worry about a Phoenix or anything like that. And Harstem's actually just making 1 Oracle, it looks like, and then opting for a very quick third base here. Oracle not going to get too much done, but this isn't Heart of the Swarm, and Oracle getting nothing done is not the end of the world for a Protoss player, as they do have that very good Revelation ability. They have those Stasis Wards now, so we'll see what it gets done here. Now, Elazer just going to be happily droning up, it looks like, just getting up an Evo Chamber, so maybe he's going to stick on those Lings, or maybe just throw up a Hydra Den. As you know, if you've followed the meta lately, Ling main Hydra is basically the bane of Protoss, as it's a very solid strategy for Zerg players, so Protoss sort of have to play around that a little bit. Harstem getting at 1 Phoenix looks like it's just going to be to clear up this Overlord, so it can't just sit there, you know. As it already has spotted this Twilight Council, it's already going to have spotted that Forge as well, so no secrets here for Harstem. It's really just going to be up to his play here. This Oracle moving around, as long as he doesn't lose it, that'll be very nice, but Elazer has spotted the Phoenix here, so his Overlords are going to pull back. Well, that one overlord, it knows it stays are numbered if it stays there. Harstem getting up to third base, so he's not in a bad spot economically. He's actually in quite a decent spot economically. Elazer 52 drones, no fourth base on the table just yet. He is getting up a very quick Hydra and +1 range attack, so it's possible we may just see a Hydra Ling all in here. It's very, very possible. Harstem does have a Robo getting up just now, so he's not going to have a huge Immortal count, possibly when it matters. He's getting up Charge, which is very good versus Hydras if the Zealots can connect. So it may just come down to whether Elazer makes Banelings or not. We'll see, as you know, Banelings are very good versus Zealots here. And Immortal on the way, +1 on the way, so both players going to be equal on upgrades. A Cannon going up for Harstem, maybe fearing Ling run-bys if he has to reposition his army. Getting up this wall as well, very nice there. This Oracle revealing these Hydras, revealing these Lings, but right now Elazer, he's stopped making workers. This is a bit of a all-in here, it looks like. He's just making Hydras now, he's making Lings. There is no Baneling Nest, so these Zealots should be somewhat effective, depending on the engagement, but this is going to be a lot of army for Elazer here. It's really going to come down to whether Harstem has identified this. He has not really. He's gotten a glimpse of these Lings, but he doesn't have a glimpse of the rest. Maybe he's queuing into this now that, okay, those Hydras and Lings are moving across the map. I should be worried right now. He's got a large amount of pylons here, so he will be able to Photon Overcharge, but it's possible a Sandwich make him and closes that wall off at a critical time there. If he hadn't put that Adept in, those Lings could have just ran in there. Second Immortal is on the way here, so he's trying to build up that count. Immortals are very solid. They can go toe-to-toe with Hydras as long as they have some support. The Photon Overcharge, the Cannon, the Zealot Warp, and buying time for now. Elazer's having a tough time going in. Harstem's doing a fantastic job holding these two positions right now. Link's trying to go for a run by that Immortal, move the Adept out of position. It would be nice to see that wall off be completed once again. Okay, Harstem is going to do that there. The Immortal's actually just on the Adept. Ling's trying to get a surround on it. I'm not sure if they're going to get it, but Elazer's really attacking on the third base is the main target. But right now, there's simply too much for Harstem, and this is actually fantastic for Harstem right now. He lost that Immortal, sure, but he's held the third base. Elazer is only on 3 bases. He's on less workers. Harstem's building up an Immortal count. He's getting out of Twilight Councils. Oh, he's actually going to be in a fantastic spot, but oh, this move by Elazer, he made 3 drop rewards. He's going to drop the main of Harstem. Harstem warping in pylons, that may be critical to this defense, but he's going to have to make really good choices to defend this spot right now. He's got the Immortal, he's pulling back a few of his units, but he can't forfeit the third base. He can really only afford to take damage in one of these places, warping in some Zealots to buy time, but he needs to hold the third base while this is going on. There's a fairly scary army out of Elazer, but if he manages to hold on here, it should be a very good position for Harstem. He hasn't lost too many workers. He's down on army supply right now, but this drop didn't get too much accomplished right now. So this is going very, very nicely for Harstem. He's getting out Storm. It's quite a ways off, but he's already warped in the Templar, so once that finishes, he will be able to storm these Hydras, and there's nothing better than Storm versus Hydras and Lings. Elazer going for a drop once again, multitasking very well here. He's just got these 3 Hydras. They may actually try to unpower this or just pick off some drones. Zealots are just getting right on top of that, though. That Immortal and 3 Zealots are on base defense duty. Right now we see Elazer's actually pushing in. Harstem's having a bit of a tough time. He's out of Photon Overcharges. He's forced to warp Archons with these Templar, which is very unfortunate for him. Storm is halfway done now. These Zealots should actually be enough to force his army back. A lot of them are getting picked off, but those force fields work quite decent. But Harstem has lost a lot of the meat in his army. Those 2 Archons did finish up, though, and that may be enough just to get on top of these Hydras here. That drop was cleaned up all but... Actually, no, this 1 Hydra getting a lot of kills here. I guess the Zealots didn't quite manage to clean it up. We have another drop here, so Elazer's just doing a great job. These Hydras are just dropping. Harstem's actually losing probes, but these are still acceptable losses right now. That Immortal is coming. It's going to ideally clean those up there. That 1 Hydra's going down, so Elazer's doing a fantastic job dropping, but Harstem is holding on right now. He's actually got Storm finished, but only 1 High Templar with Storm. But really, if he lands a clutch Storm, that's the game changer right there. We have this 1 Phoenix, needs to actually start working away on these Overlords here. But right now, Harstem's very busy with this defense. Ooh, those Archons taking a lot of damage there. 1 Storm goes down, is quite decent. I believe he has 1 more, and he does, so that's actually thinning out the Hydras a significant amount. Oh, the Oracle, the Phoenix goes down. Probes are actually forced to be pulled by Harstem here. So it looks like GG is actually going to get called. Harstem almost managed to hold there. That was actually almost a perfect defense, but he just fell apart at that 1 spot there. So, very well played by both players. Elazer going for a decisive attack like that. And don't worry, guys, there's going to be a lot more games coming. So the next map's actually going to be Mech Depot here. Let me just double check here. Who had the first map pick? I'm actually curious to know here. It was actually Harstem who had the first map, so that was Harstem's map, and it didn't quite go his way, so he may have a bit of a rough time here on this map. But we're going to be getting right on into it here. No time wasted, and keep in mind we've got a lot of games here, so hopefully you guys will stick around. Alright, so we're going to see if Harstem's going to be able to bring it back. Maybe it's time for him to go for some sort of cheese or anything like that. But we're going to be getting right on into it now. Hope you guys are enjoying Afreeca World. It's been a while since we had one of these, but the games are always good when we get these top European pros out. And there's going to be quite a few games today, as usual. So, currently up 1 game in this best of 5, spawning down the bottom right hand in the blue. Recently, I already forgot the name of the team, but Elazer recently just picked up on a new team. You know who he is. And then spawning down the bottom left hand side of the map, the red Protoss player, currently down 0-1, gonna try and bring it back. It is Harstem. So we're gonna see what's on the cards for Harstem trying to bring this game back here. Mech Depot. Just by looking at the map, you can tell it's not the greatest map for Protoss, as there's a lot bigger attacking gaps. There's quite a big main base for drops, things like that. So defense for Protoss could be very tough here. Let me just make sure that I've changed the thing. I did not, but I remembered we're only 40 seconds in. Okay, it's a good thing that I noticed that there. So we've actually got what looks to be a Nexus first coming out of Harstem, so that's one way to do it. It's possible we may just see Harstem go for this fast Nexus, then go for an aggressive play after that. As a third base on this map, I don't think it's too viable, but we'll see. It's quite possible. You never really know what the players will go for. Now, Elazer just going for a standard hatchery first. I believe we've seen Elazer do more or less the same opening and same build order through all of his games. I mean, he did drop Harstem a lot in the last series they played, so we'll see if he just opts to do that again. Harstem, though, changing it up with this Nexus first. Second gas on the way for Harstem, so likely wanting to get his tech pretty quick after this. Going for a double gateway, so just to be safe after that Nexus first, I guess. His Cybercore will be able to come up soon. Now, this is a bit of an interesting wall up. I believe he can get units through there, but, or maybe he can't. So I believe that's like, Harstem may actually have to go all the way around his Nexus to get out of his base. Alright, so I'm interested to see how that's... I've played a bit on these new maps here, however, I don't play a lot of Protoss versus Zerg here. So Harstem, though, he's just scouting. He's going to see that Elazer's going to take his third base here. Speed on the way for Elazer, so nothing's changed. He's still mining that gas, so we'll see what that goes into eventually. Most likely just his lair again. Maybe that Overlord speed. Adept on the way for Harstem. We'll see if he goes for a second Adept. Yes, he will. So he's actually going for a double Chrono onto this, so maybe he's wanting to try and catch Elazer a bit off guard here. 2 Adepts can always wreak havoc if there's nothing quite in position to take care of them. Meanwhile, Harstem's just probing up behind this. We'll see if he continues to make more Adepts after this. I don't think it's too likely. Yeah, just going back into probing. Although he is making one more Adept there. And he's actually going to Chrono Boost that out again, so... Harstem, I guess maybe going for this one Adept for the wall. after, and then going for a Stargate once again. Stargate's very common in the meta right now. Meanwhile, Elazer not skipping a beat, just keeping things the same, getting that Overlord boost, getting that Ling speed. Very similar opening here. We'll see if he goes to more of a Ling Bane timing or if he'll go for another all-in like that. This Overlord is going to come in. It's going to see the Stargate, so no secrets here for Harstem. He's not chrono boosting out that Oracle, but these Adepts are getting in. They're killing off a few drones here. Elazer didn't quite expect this timing with the Nexus first, followed up by the double Gateway. And 6 drones have actually gone down. It looks like it's going to be 7. That one drone tried to hide in the gas geyser, but that's actually huge for Harstem right there. 7 drones at 4 minutes into the game. Harstem is in a fantastic position right now, and that just goes to show how changing things up, making a bold move works out. Now Harstem, he's gone for a quick third Nexus here, so that's what he's doing with this lead. Elazer has scouted it though, so it may be a bit vulnerable, but it looks like Elazer's just going to try and stick with the plan here. He's just getting out a lair. It's quite possible we'll see a Hydra Den. Once again, Sporecrawler on the way as he scouted that Oracle there. And he is actually trying to, I guess, cut corners a bit. He's not opting for a Spore in the natural bases. He knows he lost 1 or 2 drones there. This Oracle's trying to poke and prod. The Queens, though, are going to be there to shoo it away. And now we actually see a Roach Horn on the way. Okay, so Lazer's changing things up. I guess he wants to hit a quicker timing since he lost those drones, so he's going to play the aggressive game once again. And we're seeing Harstem change it up. He's actually going for a Twilight Council, Resonating Glaives, likely going to be getting +1, and a Robo. So he's throwing up a few gateways right now, which is very good to defend an all-in like this. However, it's actually going to be a full-on Nidus right now, and Harstem has not scouted this. As the Nidus did just go down, he may be able to tell something's off. He needs to keep his Oracle alive, though, if he wants to have any chance of scouting this. But it could just be that Elazer's making a decisive move and Harstem will be caught off guard. He's got this wall off here. He's going to be going for mass Adepts now. Adepts never have been the best versus Roaches, but we're actually seeing an Immortal before Warp Prism, so that's very critical for this defense right now. If Harstem was chrono boosting that out, it would be huge, but he needs to be doing his Warpins. He's getting out Adepts here, but Adepts are not the greatest tool versus Roaches. The Queens are getting ready to run into that Nidus. The Overlord's coming in. It's not going to be scouted here. He's chrono boosting out right now. We see this probe. It's moving. It's going to identify this Nidus, but Harstem knows he's going to be in trouble. We may see a Stasis Ward go down by this Oracle just to sort of for zoning, perhaps. We see the Adepts in the main base, the Immortals here, so he may actually just try to get on top of this, but there is a lot here. The Oracle's actually activating his Pulsar Beam. The Immortal's staying back. It needs to deal damage here. We need the Mothership Core to come up top right now. We see a Sentry being warped in. The Immortal can do damage. Harstem's actually going to pull probes. He knows he can afford to lose a few here. He needs to keep his firepower alive. He's warping in Sentries right now. We see the Mothership Core is coming in. It can Photon Overcharge, and it needs to Photon Overcharge. As a matter of fact, it's ready. The Photon Overcharge is the more in pylon, so it's not going to quite have that range. Elazer's zoned out a little bit. We have another Immortal coming out. It needs to be rallied to safety, though. So Harstem, he's going to have this other Immortal out. He should possibly be able to defend this here. He's got a good amount of Adepts here. These Immortals are doing their best. Force Fields go down. Those are actually very good Force Fields for Harstem, but Grosabal's raining down. Harstem does not have too big of a buffer right now, and now Lings are coming in. This one Immortal may go down. Every Immortal is so critical right now. Another Immortal is not being produced. It's just Warpins and Probes trying to hold the line right now. This other Immortal's taken a bit of damage, but both of them are still alive here. Both dealing so much damage. They're incredibly critical to this defense. Most of the Adepts have gone down. The Lings are flooding through for Elazer. This is a great move as the Immortals are very vulnerable right now. Mothership does not have another Photon Overcharge. It's down to one Immortal. Probes have gone down. If Harstem can hold off right now, it will still be possible, but this one Immortal, it's so close to going down there. There's quite an army for Elazer here. There was never another Immortal being made, and it looks like these gateways may be underpowered here. We have a Photon Overcharge going down, but it was already a weakened pylon, so it does get picked off. It bought a bit of time, though. One of the Immortals does go down, so Harstem, it may look like he just may fall to this attack here. It was a very close hold, but perhaps he identified it just a second too late. The Zealots are not going to be enough to tank this, it looks like. The Immortal, there's not enough firepower for Harstem. Elazer with a decisive move there, taking out game number 2. So, we're seeing a sort of trend here. Elazer being the aggressor. We're going to see if it'll change it up here. The next map's going to be Abyssal Reef here, so quite a good map for Protoss to play defensively. So Harstem, we'll see what he goes for. He had a great opening, but Elazer just capitalized on it. Maybe Harstem was a bit too greedy there. Alright, so we're going to be getting right on into the next game. No time wasted here, and remember we have another best of 5 coming up right after this. So I hope you guys are enjoying this Afreeca world. Lots of great games as usual. And Abyssal Reef will be the next map. We're going to see if Harstem can bring it back. Elazer, it's very understandable. There's no shame in losing to Elazer, as he's arguably the best Zerg. And I mean, we sort of saw how good Elazer was in Afreeca world from the start. I mean, he just smashed through them. Then he won WCS, so maybe he can thank us for that. We're just getting this lobby here. Alright, so we're going to be getting ready for it fairly soon here. Hope you guys are enjoying this Afreeca world. Alright, Harstem spamming the lobby, getting ready to go. So both players wasting no time. Here we are. We're getting right on into this game. It's going to be Abyssal Reef, so we'll see if Harstem can bring it back. Alright, so currently down 0-2, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. The blue Protoss player, it is Harstem. He had a very good opening, but unfortunately he fell short to that decisive attack by Elazer there. The red Zerg spawning down the bottom right-hand side. Elazer was recently just picked up by, you'll have to forgive me as I forgot it again, by Team Clash, so very awesome to see them picking up a StarCraft 2 player. And now we'll see how it changes. Elazer, I think at this point you can just bet on things like the sun to rise, the wind will blow, the trees will grow, Elazer will go for a hatchery pool, ling speed, pneumatized carapace opening. So very, very standard opening for Elazer here. It looks like Harstem going for a gateway opening, not going for something greedy like a Nexus first. Let me just make sure that I've changed the overlay. Yes, I have. I haven't forgot that again. I hope you guys are enjoying this. So it's going to be very good, even if Elazer advances here, as we're going to get to see him go up in a best of 7 versus one of two very solid players, possibly Petit Drogo, possibly Hero Marine. Either way, we are either going to have a great TVZ or a great TVP, or not TVP, PVZ. You'll have to forgive me. We're having a great one right now, though, for sure. Harstem, we'll see if he can sort of bring it back, though. Maybe it's time for him to go for something incredibly cheeky, but Elazer really hasn't been giving Harstem the time of day for anything cheeky, as he's just been going for his own aggression incredibly early on there. Harstem, he's just got this probe just going back and forth, seeing that there's no drone or anything going out yet for a third base. Maybe they'll most likely move that probe soon. There we are, that drone is moving out, but that's just heading towards the natural, I believe. We'll likely see a third base from Elazer, but he's got to get his queens and everything first. So speed on the way. We'll likely see a pneumatized carapace as the Elazer is still mining gas, so nothing is changing here. It's up to Harstem to make the plays. Now, this is where we're actually seeing something different here. Okay, so we're actually seeing Harstem. He's going incredibly greedy right now. He's skipping or delaying warp gate technology. Now, Elazer's overlord did pop in, so he may have identified that. Now, Elazer's an incredibly good player, so we're not sure if he sort of would have clued into the fact that that cybernetics core was researching or not. It's just a very small tell to be able to see that. We see Harstem, though, just making probes, getting up the Stargate. So Elazer has identified his oracles every time so far. He's just known the timings, gotten everything right. Now this is where Harstem's making a change, and I actually like this a lot, as this Oracle is going to be much quicker. Elazer, he's had his timings down perfect to defend just a standard expansion into Oracle, but this time it's not standard. Harstem delayed his Warp Gate research in order to get this incredibly fast Oracle. Elazer's third base is a little out of the way, so we'll see if anything can get picked off right now. And there's nothing coming in yet, and Pneumatized Carapace is going to be finishing here. But the Oracle, it's actually just going to be coming out, so it is going to cross paths with that Overload, which is unfortunate for Harstem, but Elazer, even if he starts Spores now, I believe that Oracle will make it across the map, and I'm not sure if he even clued into the fact that there's an Oracle. He's just making 9 drones. He's starting the Spores now, but that's going to be a little bit too late, I think. There's no workers at the third base just yet, so we'll see. Harstem, another Queen did just finish at the natural, though, so that's actually critical for the defense right there. So that does get shoot away. One drone not getting picked off quite. It turns into a Spore to try and save itself, but it does go down there. So that's a bit unfortunate for Harstem. Elazer, he's just such a solid Zerg. He had that second Queen timing perfectly, even though he didn't have the Spores quite on time. And now Harstem's opening. All that really happened is he's just got a slightly delayed Warp Gate, and now he is getting up a very fast third base. So that's the trend with Harstem here. He's just getting up very quick third bases. Now, he hasn't really managed to make full use of them, as the Lasers really just attacked quite shortly after they've come up. But we'll see what Elazer's going for this time. He's making actually quite a few Lings here. Well, he's already made them. He may be heading towards the main base, but no, they actually can't get up that ramp there, as it's just a full wall. If actually, no. I believe they can run along there, but no, they won't be able to get into the main base here. Another Adept warped in by, or a Zealot warped in by Harstem. That's really cute there. That's actually a really neat wall by Harstem. He can wall off, he can put a unit there and a unit there to block, so he's sort of got revolving doors there. So we've got +1 on the way for Harstem here, and we've actually got a Baneling Nest on the way for Elazer, so he's changing things up right now. He's got the later layer here. He's getting the +1 melee, he's getting the Baneling Nest, he's getting Drop Rewards. So the name of the game for Elazer right now is he's going to be trying to drop Banelings, most likely. He always gets that speed, so he can drop whenever he wants, just incredibly quickly. Charge is on the way for Harstem, so we'll see if he can get anything done, but really he needs to be able to defend these drops right now. I believe he made 1 Phoenix. Yes, he did. So patrolling that could save him a lot of probes if he's prepared to intercept possible Baneling drops, if Elazer does go for that. For now, though, Elazer just getting up a 4th base. Looks to be pretty content with just macroing or possibly going for aggression later on. Once that layer is finished, we'll most likely see a Hydralisk Den. +1 is finishing up. We'll see if he goes for +1 range after this, or not here. But for now, Elazer's just macroing. He's already up to 68 workers. Harstem's at 63, though, and on a 4th base. He's getting up a Templar Archives. He's got Charge just about finishing up. A lot more gateways coming in, so Harstem may be able to sort of solidify here, but Elazer is not minding that time. He's not gonna try and attack Harstem by the looks of things so soon. He's actually just going straight for an Infestation Pit. No Hydralisk Den yet, so that's a change up by Elazer here, I guess, deciding not to go for a similar move, and maybe Harstem's expecting this. We actually see an Archon already on the way, so I mean, if Harstem knew that there wasn't a large Hydra attack incoming, which it's sort of hard to confirm that that's not coming, he probably would have just kept that Archon and made it High Templars that would have built up energy. He's getting Storm now, he's warping in 2 more Templar. He's getting up a 4th base here. There's just Lings, though, on the table for Elazer right now. He's going to be going for Baneling drops, and he's actually going for Swarm Host. So that was the reason for the Infestation Pit. Swarm Hosts are seen a fair bit on Abyssal Reef here. They can sort of go from this location to the natural, or they can always just really attack with their main army. So now we see 12 Swarm Host on the queue. Holy cow, that is a lot of Swarm Host for Elazer here. I'm not sure if Harstem will be ready for that, as Archon, Immortal, Storm, Zealot really has short range, so they're not the best of dealing with Locust. Elazer's just spreading creep right now. Harstem's getting up a 4th base, but if he'll be able to defend this against wave after wave of Locust, we'll have to wait and see. We saw some Photon overcharges. I believe that must have been to shut down a Baneling drop. Right now we're seeing +2 on the way for Elazer here, so he's just likely going to stick with these Lings and Swarm Hosts. This is a new style. I've personally never seen Zerg stick to just this style. We see these cannons. They're doing a good job. They're buying time right now, but these locusts are going to start eating up zealots here. That's what, 4 or 5 zealots go down for nothing? That one creep tumor's alive somehow. We see another locust drop coming in, possibly going to try and focus down that Archon, and it's getting very weak. He may get it. More locust are incoming. That Archon pulls back, so very nice for Harstem. But meanwhile, on this side of the map, Harstem must have gone for a Zealot Warp and actually got 8 drones, so that's very nice. Returning the favor, not just going to be on the receiving end of these waves of locusts. Getting up another Robo here, we'll see what he goes for. Possibly just Mass Immortals to deal with this. Now, the thing is, there's basically just Swarm Host and Lings for Elazer. So without the Locust, his army's actually not too strong, so it's possible that Harstem may want to go for an attack here. Now it looks like these Locusts are going to be coming in for another attack, and now Harstem's not going to be there to intercept this, and behind their mineral line's actually a very unfortunate spot for Harstem to deal with this. Pulling back one of the Archons so it doesn't go down to the Locust, that's actually very nice for Harstem. You want to minimize the losses versus these, so he's losing units here. He lost a few probes, but he didn't really get whittled down too much there. As long as he keeps that up, he'll be in a decent situation. Right now, though, Elazer is on 4 bases. He's up to 80 drones. He's teching. He's getting up a Spire. Hive on the way. So Elazer, he's just getting all this tech without the Hydralisk Den. Not something that we see too often here. 4 Zealots being warped into the main base, but that is identified by Elazer, so they're not going to be long-lived right now. Harstem may be able to pick those up to save them. Yes, he is, so he's on point there. But he's still got to deal with these Locusts, and these Locusts are changing positions. It's time for another wave right now. This base was very oversaturated. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. Photon overcharges go down on those pylons. They're only going to buy seconds there. Zealots warped in. Excuse me, buying a few more seconds, but now it's just going to be probes that are just going to be getting butchered here. The Nexus is not going to fall, but 7 probes going down. Harstem's been losing probes. More and more probes, and really he's just producing Immortals now. He's not getting any more upgrades past this. Meanwhile, Elaser's getting +3 in Adrenal Glands, so it may simply just be Lings that will eventually win this game. 15 probes go down. We saw Harstem may have actually gone for an attack there and lost a bit of his army, stepping onto creep there. Banelings killed off some probes. Harstem's still at 65, but this isn't really a winnable, well, winning situation for him. The Spire's done, so Brood Lords could be on the table. We see a fleet beacon on the way for Harstem, so this is his choice. He's just going to try and tech up on these 4 bases there. But this Nexus may actually go down here to these Locusts, and it looks like it will here. A Mothership Core actually can hide buildings and workers from Locusts, so that'll actually be nice. And by Mothership Core, I mean Mothership. So once that fleet beacon's done, he'll eventually get that, but he's already lost a Nexus, so Harstem is just being whittled down here. The Warp Prism harassment is nice, but Elazer's getting up all this tech. He's already getting out Corruptors here. So any chance at mass error for Harstem will be met with fierce opposition. We're actually seeing more drones going down, and Harstem's actually going for an attack right now. He's down 50 supply, but he does have all these Archons, so Locusts are going to drop in here, but and Harstem may actually be in a very tough situation, as this is a lot of Locusts. He's sort of being boxed in right now. Archons are not the best. A good Storm goes down, but I believe that's the only Storm, so it looks like Harstem's army may just get sandwiched. All these Banelings rolling in. Banelings not the best versus Archons. It doesn't look like Elazer really cares. So many drones are going down in the main base of Elazer, though. There's massive Zealot warping, but Harstem lost most of his army right now. He's got 1 Archon morphing at home, and that's basically it. He's down to 90 supply versus 150. Meanwhile, Elazer's just flooding Lings. If he gets the spawning pool, that'll actually be very nice for Harstem. He's killed off so many drones. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get the spawning pool. It would be nice to see him focus it down, so then no more Lings could be made, but the Swarm Hosts are still alive. There's really nothing to contest them now. Harstem's going for an attack, but it's just 2 Archons and a handful of Zealots versus how many Lings are on the field. 57 Lings, 18 Swarm Hosts. I'm thinking Harstem's days are numbered here. He never really transitioned into that tech, losing his natural. It wasn't really feasible. He's now lost his 4th base, so he's hardly mining. Harstem is down. Elazer's going to take the 3-0. GG gets called. Very well played.